Wacky Wednesday.
Kids' toys can be oh so expensive, which is why some people sell knockoffs, most of which can just be a pathetic excuse for the real thing. From Toy Story and Planet of the Apes to PlayStation and Hannah Montana, we look at 20 of the worst knockoff toys ever. Number 20. Toy Story. Kids' toys can be costly, and Toy Story merchandise is no exception, which is why some people created knockoffs. One of which is this, Woody from the make-believe movie called Spaceboys 3. Very similar to that is this Buzz toy from Toy Special 3, another movie that was never made. But the knockoff that takes the cake here is definitely this Super Mario 3 packaged Woody toy. That I still don't understand, but hey, some kids probably won't even notice. Not to mention this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toy that, for some reason, has Buzz and Woody from Toy Story on the packaging. Number 19. ROBOCOP. There's the original ROBOCOP and then there's this, the knockoff, ROBOCOP. Yes, ROBOCOP. The man who's half cop and half robot. At first glance, you probably didn't even notice it's saying ROBOCOP, but if you put the real toy right beside it, you can clearly see a real difference in quality. And I'm sure this knockoff toy fooled a lot of parents in the past when ROBOCOP was actually popular. Number 18. Planet of the Apes. What's similar to Planet of the Apes? Oh, I know. Space of the Apes. These guys got away with murder, selling thousands of knockoff Planet of the Apes toys to unsuspecting kids all over America. But something tells me they didn't spend too much time thinking of a knockoff name for this. And you can clearly tell the difference here between the real and the knockoff. Or can you? Number 17. Thomas the Tank Engine. Let's be honest, some kids are just plain stupid, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because companies can come along and very easily make money off them with knockoff toys, and that's exactly what the creators of this toy did. This is the result of mashing both a Transformers toy with a Thomas the Tank Engine toy. They call it Super Robot, the Transformable Thomas, and probably a very popular toy in dollar stores all around the world. Number 16. PlayStation. You know when you're a kid and you're too young to work and your mum won't buy you a PlayStation because they're too expensive? Well, a company in Asia became aware of this and created the Polystation, the cheap and poorly reviewed PlayStation knockoff. Unlike the original PlayStation, the Polystation took cartridges just like a Sega Genesis or Mega Drive. Yep, no discs, just cartridges. So basically a cool looking Sega console. Number 15. PlayStation 3. What's better than a Polystation? Of course, a Polystation 3. Some variations of this included built-in pirated games, and in many cases, these games were hacked. For example, in one version, Super Mario Bros., Mario is replaced by Pikachu. What the They also came with an attachable controller, also a small LCD screen that pops out from the side, just in case you get bored of playing on your 50-inch TV. Number 14. Pokemon. Pokemon had the slogan, gotta catch them all, but does that mean catching all of the knockoffs as well? If you answered yes, then you may want to get your hands on the Miracle Collection, that is, Prodigy Pet. Or if that doesn't look like your thing, maybe you want to check out Pocket Monica. By the looks of it, it's a chess-inspired game to play once you've caught all of your Pokemon. Or Politic Pat, because of course all kids into Pokemon are also into politics. Number 13. Angry Birds. What do you get if you take Angry Birds and make them slightly happier? Well, I'll tell you what you get. You get ill-tempered birds. That's what. Not so angry, just a little peeved off. It's pretty funny how some people have bought these ill-tempered bird transformer toy birds thinking they are real, but then again, they look pretty cool. Number 12. Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street was originally a horror movie from the 1980s where a man named Freddy Krueger would invade people's dreams and then kill them. The knockoff here is that they've called him Nightmare Freddy, which I don't think is even a name, but probably tricked a whole lot of people into thinking it was the real deal. Of course, there is a red flag raised when you read the words on the box for age 4 and up, as opposed to the real toy which says on the packaging ages 17 and up. Well, apparently it looks like the guys in the knockoff business don't care if kids are playing with horror movie toys. Number 11. Iron Man. Found at the dollar store years back was an Iron Man inspired packaged toy with the catchy name Iron Storm. That just so happens to look exactly like Iron Man. But that's not the only knockoff out there. An Asian take on Iron Man, marketed as Iron Mars, was also found, although for some reason the toy in the package is more like a Transformers car than anything else. Once again, two different films being mashed together for some odd reason. And at another store someone found this, not a toy, but I had to include it because it was just hilarious. A DVD titled Metal Man, which is obviously a very bad looking Iron Man knockoff. Number 10. Star Wars lightsaber. The lightsaber is a fictional energy weapon featured in the Star Wars universe. When the movies came out, companies from around the world recognized the demand for Star Wars merchandise and ripped off many of their products, one of which included the lightsaber. The names given to the knockoffs included Star Sword, Light Sword, Force Beam, and Laser Sword. These were the names used to try and convince unsuspecting children that they were the real deal, and apparently got away with it because they sold really well. Number 9. The Avengers. When you think of the Avengers, you probably think of Iron Man, Captain America, and the Hulk. Somehow, when creating a similar knockoff toy set, some very confused people for some reason added Shrek, a Power Ranger, and what looks like one of the cars from the movie Cars. And they gave the name Sense of Right Alliance to this odd bunch. In other packages, characters included Batman, Spider-Man, and someone even found a character from Dragon Ball Z. Honestly, Shrek? Number 8. Dora the Explorer. I think we can all agree that this is probably the first name they came up with when thinking just how they could rip off Dora the Explorer. Adventure Girl Maria was the cheaper alternative to the also popular original toy. Sadly, this was the only image we could find, and probably is the most obvious knockoff on this list. Number 7. Star Wars. When the creators of Knockoff Toys Incorporated were trying to improve the Star Wars toys, they came up with this. They put Darth Vader on a motorbike and called him Star Knight. But it doesn't end there. There has also been many other knockoffs when it comes to Star Wars toys. You've got your Space Wars, your Star Wars Bricks, and your Galaxy Empires. Star Wars, Space Wars. See what they did there? Well, apparently kids could not tell the difference, and these toys sold in their thousands. Number 6. Rocking Elmo. When it comes to Elmo, you've got many choices. These include Tickle Me Elmo, Strangle Me Elmo, and now Rocking Elmo. Which of course when you get, you have to crap your hands to make him rock out. And by crap, I think the Japanese probably meant clap. When the toy came out with this typo, people of the internet had a field day thinking it was hilarious, and led to many bad taste memes. Oh crap. Number 5. Titanic / Transformer. What happens if your child has an interest in both the Titanic and Transformers? Simple, just buy them this. It's the Titanic Bot, a transformable Titanic toy boat. Why? Because there are so many kids out there with an interest in both Titanic and Transformers, this probably sounded like a good idea. But despite just how weird and plain sad this is, there are still video reviews on this actual toy all over YouTube. Number 4. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now if you were like me when you were younger around Christmas time, you would circle specific toys in the latest catalogs or mailers and conveniently put them somewhere your mum or dad would see. That way, they would know exactly what toys to buy you come Christmas Day. Not for 1 second as a kid did I think there were fake or knockoff toys out there, but I would like to think I would have been smart enough to tell the difference between this and this. Especially if there were Toy Story characters on the packaging of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toy. Number 3. Superman. When the creators of this toy were sitting around a table throwing out ideas, they probably thought to themselves, hey, let's not change the name, but just change the spelling. This is what they came up with. Superman. That's right, hopefully children around the world notice the spelling difference on this one because it's pretty hilarious. And it goes on, there's also Special Man, which is without a doubt Superman's lesser known cousin. Special Man, the superhero that doesn't get much done. Why? Because he's just a little bit special. Number 2. Spider-Man. Now if you were going to rip off the Spider-Man franchise in any which way, what alternative name would you come up with? A company allegedly from Singapore came up with the name SPIDERMAN. Yes, you heard right, Spider-Man. The kids will never tell the difference. Some of the knockoffs included Web Parachute Spider-Man, Venom, Man Spider, Web Shooter Spider-Man, and Web Racer Spider-Man. Which, by that last name, I'm starting to think they had run out of ideas. Number 1. Hannah Montana. Some young kids may not even see the difference here, but of course we can see the name on the box says Anna instead of Hannah Montana. Once again, an attempt to sidestep the original trademarked name. To think a company is getting away with selling tens of thousands of these Anna Montana toys to young girls around the world, having them think it's the real deal, is quite sad to say the least. Not to mention, it looks like she's only got one hand, which is quite weird. And the fact that this knockoff goes to such minute lengths to rip off another product makes this one of the worst knockoff toys ever.